This video will change your life. I want you to really listen to me. Narcissists are the master hypnotist of the world. All right. If you've dealt with a narcissist, you've dealt with being hypnotized. Now, whether you believe it or not, whether you believe in hypnotism or not, it's real. Now, I'm not talking about the hypnotism that you see on TV, keyword, fake, you know what I'm saying, where you have somebody come up on a talk show, they're this amazing hypnotist, and they're world renowned, and they call up people on stage, and they convince them that they're rats, and people are over there crawling under chairs, and stuff like that. It's not like that. The hypnotist and the hypnotism that you experience every day is done through a similar pattern, but it's more nuanced and it's more powerful and long lasting. It's not like for 5 minutes I'm gonna think I'm a frog, you know what I'm saying, and then I'm gonna go back to my regular life when he snaps his fingers. It's like I'm gonna think something horrible about myself, and then that I'm gonna be fighting this for the rest of my life because this asshole, you know what I'm saying? Excuse my cursing, excuse my language, but right now I'm trying to give the real, so it's keyword, I don't give a fuck. Hey, check this out though. All right, so how do narcissists hypnotize people? They use a thing that I call a pattern interrupt. Actually, I specifically call it breaking the flow of the day, but pattern interrupts. And that's what they call it in hypnotism. It basically breaks your state of mind, your train of thought, and it puts you in a different, more suggestible, meaning you'll take suggestions, you'll listen to somebody else over yourself more when you're in this state of mind. So how do narcissists use that? Simple. It could be you're having a regular conversation with them, and all of a sudden, for no reason, they finish your sentence for you. They act like they already know what you're going to say. They cut you off. That's breaking the flow. That's breaking the state. So when people break the flow like that, it causes cognitive dissonance. Now, I have other videos on how narcissists break the flow, so don't worry if you don't really understand it. I'll give you a couple more examples, but I don't want to derail the whole video. But the classic thing that I always talk about is if you're walking to a door and you see somebody on the other side of the door and they're walking towards it, and let's say you're closer to the door, but then the person speeds up and walks through right before you, and then you kind of have to stop, and then you go. That right there, that breaks the flow. Someone cutting you off, or let's say you ask someone a question, and I deal with this at my job. Instead of them giving you like a regular answer, saying it in a regular voice, sometimes they might say it underneath their breath. Say it under their breath, where you have to be like, huh? What'd you say? Narcissists do this for many of reasons. They can check their phone while you're talking, and it'll break your train of thought. Now, they do it for a bunch of different reasons. It's to demean you, it's to test you, but it's also, like I've been saying, it's to break the flow. So what happens when the flow is broken? It gets your mind where you're confused, or in just a slight, it causes slight cognitive dissonance. And then they give you their suggestion. They might outright call you something, like call you stupid. And if they're trying to be like cool with you still, or pretend that they're your friend, instead of saying you're stupid, they'll say you're so stupid. Now, if you're already in a confused state of mind and they've broken the flow with you, right, that suggestion will affect you on a subconscious level, whether they say it like they're joking or not. Now, That's not all. That's if they want to be outright with it. You know, they can give you suggestions about yourself, about who you are, outright. They can straight out to your face and straight call you something that you're not. But it's actually more nuanced than that when you first meet someone. The easiest way to get somebody to take on a suggestion and to start feeling a different way about themselves is just to treat them a certain way. So if they already have you, again, in a confused state, in a suggestible state of mind, and then they start treating you like you don't know what you're doing, correcting you and stuff like that, then you'll start taking on the feelings of being belittled. They kind of hypnotize you to feel like you're less than you are, like you're younger than you are, like they're more competent than you. Another way to do it is to just talk to you in a voice that suggests that you're whatever, however they want to suggest, whatever they want to suggest to you. And we'll stick with the example of they want to suggest that you're less intelligent than what you are. Just talking to you like you're slow, or talking to you in a slow voice. And they slip this in, and it's crazy. They'll slip it in, and it's always after they've already kind of broken the flow of things, and then they start talking to you overly nice in a patronizing voice, or talking to you like this, you know, slowing the words down, you know, and again, it's a sneaky way of suggesting to you, and it will affect you subconsciously. Another way that they do it is, again, it all starts with they break the flow, but then they act super confident. They try to make you feel less confident by acting super confident. But that acting in itself wouldn't really work if they didn't already get you in a state where you got all this confusion going on, you have this slight cognitive dissonance, and then all of a sudden you have somebody in front of you acting like they're so sure of everything. They're so confident. They're so bold. They might get bold with you, and it'll make you feel like you're less than what you are. Again, that's hypnotism. That's how Stockholm Syndrome works. When those people, I think it was like in Paris or wherever it happened, when they took over that bank, or I think it was a bank, and the hostages, they're gonna feel like a bunch of dissonance. They don't know what's going on. This is the first time they've been in that situation where they, you know what I'm saying, it's crazy. They're trying to make sense of all of it, and the people that are hijacking the bank, they're acting super confident, super smooth. So it's more that the hostages aren't gonna take their own feelings and their own thoughts as seriously, because they already know that they're confused. So the only other people to depend on in that was the people that are taking over the bank. And then that fucks with your mind. It makes you, in that case, it made them want to protect them. Like you become fond of that person because they have something that you don't have, even if it's for the moment. It's confidence in that situation. And even in your life, like, you'll take on a lot of bullies and people like that, because when you first meet them, they're everything that you perceive yourself not to be. They're super outgoing. They talk loud. They are sure. And in that moment, you're used to dealing with a lot of people that are making you feel less confident, less sure of yourself. And you end up following them. And if you aren't, then they break the flow a bunch of times and have you second guessing and not feeling comfortable mentally, and then you want to go off of what they're doing rather than realizing that, no, this person's toxic, let me step away. But I don't want the video to get too long. I feel like I've made my point here. I'm gonna leave it at that. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell. Leave a comment, leave a like. Smash the like button, like hit that. You know what I'm saying? I want to see how many likes I can get. So thank you for being patient and watching the video. Sometimes I know I can be long-winded, but I feel like I'm covering all angles and I feel like you guys got it. So thank you for watching. Peace.